Good morning, everyone. We are in week 2 of YouTube for Churches, led by Glade Kynaston from Lakeview UMC. So welcome back.
First of all, thank you everybody for coming back. I'm glad I didn't scare you guys away. As a media person, I'm much better behind the camera than I am in front of it. So bear with me there. Today, I want to talk about the back end of YouTube and what you can find back here. This is the channel dashboard. This will give you the latest information on your last video that you uploaded, and different comments that have come in on the videos that you have put up, how many subscribers you've had, and what the change was in that in the last 28 days, and just an overall summary of your channel in the last 28 days. As you can see, we're down just a little bit, about 12% over what we have been doing. And I think that's based because a lot of churches are starting to open back up again. But get your latest comments, who your recent subscribers are, latest news from YouTube, and all of that right here on the front. Come over here to the left-hand column. You can see your channel art, which will take you right directly to your channel so you can see what it looks like to the other people. Your videos, the ones you've uploaded, and all of the stats on those, your live videos. And it looks like YouTube's running a little slow. There we go. The stuff that you've put up recently, your playlists, all of the different playlists that you have. We talked about those last week. This is how you can sort all of your videos so that people can find them easier. Like we've got in the news, the latest news that's going on, real people of Lakeview, testimonials, that sort of thing. Live with Pastor John. He does a lot of stuff on Facebook and on YouTube, just so that they can find your videos a lot faster. You got your analytics. We'll go over that next week. That's a whole new animal all in itself. Recent comments, subtitles on down. Where I want to start is right here with the settings. These are the general settings for all of your videos. Like if you take donations online, it'll be in US dollars. Your channel, you want to set your country of residence, being the US, and then some keywords for your channel. This isn't for your videos. This is just for your channels that you want people to search for and be able to find your channel, which includes all of your videos. Like we're doing Methodist Church, churches near me, Sun City, Arizona. These you want to keep up to date and change kind of frequently, every couple, 3 months. That's what I do, is every quarter I'll change these just so that we rank better in the different areas. And then moving to the advanced settings. This one, we don't do anything made for kids specifically. We're a retirement community. The average age of our congregation is 80, so we don't have any kids. We don't have any Sunday school, anything like that. But if you do, you can set yours to yes, some of them are, no, none of them are, or you want to review it on video by video basis. You can link your account to a Google AdWords account. You can automatically do the captions where Google will translate for you and put up the closed caption thing. It's not very good at it. It doesn't do a very good job, so we don't use it. You can decide whether you want people to see how many have subscribed to your channel. We have selected to disable any ads, meaning that, like Joel Osteen can't come on and advertise on our website, that sort of stuff. And then these guys are worth checking out. They're pretty self-explanatory when it comes to setting things up. We'll hit a little bit on some of these in just a little while. Feature eligibility. As you grow in subscribers and watch time, the default features, they add things that you can do that you couldn't do when you're first starting out. So it's always good to get everybody liking and watching. And then features that require the phone verification, videos longer than 15 minutes. And if you're going to be doing a full service, you're going to want to be sure and get your phone number in there and get it verified so that you can do that. The next one down is upload defaults. This is if you want all of your videos to come out with the same title, like Lakeview Online Service 4, and then you can add a date to each video. We change the title of each video each week. Same with the description. If you want a generic description that loads all the time with each video, you can put that here. And the visibility. There are 3 different settings in the visibility. There's public, private, and unlisted. Public means anybody and everybody can see it. Private means only those that have the link. Like we do memorial services, and that's something that we don't want to put out there in front of the whole world. So actually we make that unlisted, and they have to have that link to be able to get in there to see it. Private is only the administrator can see it. And then any general tags that you want to use. Hopefully you all done a little bit of homework last week and seen what you searched for, and those are your tags. Those are what you're going to want to put in your videos if you have some general ones that you want in each and every video. The advanced settings up here, like your standard YouTube license for nonprofits. Everything we do is in English. We don't do any Spanish kind of stuff, but if you do Spanish, you can add that here as well. And then this right here, the comments, we've got ours set up and it works really well. Hold inappropriate comments for review. When we start getting upwards of 1,000 people watching us live, we do get some of those folks coming in looking to cause trouble, and they'll start using the F-bomb and stuff like that. And those won't be public until after one of our moderators, we'll get into that in just a second, approves it to be seen by everybody, and we can kick them out for it because we have this set to hold the inappropriate comments for reviews. So that's something that you're going to want to do. Permissions. This is if you want to add anybody to your account that's able to get in and actually upload videos, edit videos, delete videos, that kind of stuff. There's several different access grants that you can give on as to what they can do. Since we use the generic Lakeview UMC at Gmail, everybody uses it. The pastor uses that. Our entire media team uses that. So we don't have to have a bunch of extra. But if you have extra folks that you want to put in there, you can do that here. The community, like I was talking about, the moderators, these guys all keep an eye on the comments each Sunday, make sure that they're appropriate for what we're doing. And if not, we kick them out. These are all of the people that we have kicked out of our streams for inappropriate comments, inappropriate suggestions to go to websites, that sort of thing. Down here a little further, you can check this box down here called block links. When you check that, nobody can put a hashtag, an @ in there, or a website without the approval of one of the moderators. That way they can't be sending us to a sex-driven website or something like that. So that's a good thing to put in there also. Agreements, if you're really bored and don't have anything else to do, like I know we're all just sitting around with nothing to do during COVID, you can read the service agreement with YouTube. Pretty boring stuff. Okay, so back to our dashboard. There's a couple of buttons up here at the top. This is where you can upload videos or you can go live. Start with the upload. All you have to do is drag a file over there. I have one here. Let me get it. drag it in there, and it will start to upload. Down here on the bottom, you will see how long it's going to take to upload and process. I know you all don't have the luxury I have. I have 1 GB internet, so things upload really fast, but sometimes these can take a while. I've found the quickest time for uploads is between 5 and 7 a.m. So those early risers, that's the best time to put a video up. And then here again, your titles, like we don't have any of the default sets, so we add our titles. Like this one was for Friday the 16th. And you can just add that in there, and then a quick description telling something about the video to kind of get viewers involved so that they can see it. You can upload a thumbnail to it. I'll just put this one in here so that you have a cover thumbnail, and then playlists. You can, this is where you add it to those different playlists. Like I'll make this one in the news. And again, whether it was made for kids or not, this comes up all the time, and it has to do with the new privacy law to where you can't be taking kids' information, that sort of stuff. More options down here. You doing any paid promotions in your video, you add your tags to it, and that's just separated by a comma. I forgot where I was at there. There we go. And separate it by a comma. You're allowed 500 letters in there, so you can add a lot of keywords to something. Again, the language and no caption. These boxes are all very important when it comes to the SEO. You want to fill all of these out. Like this one was recorded on the 16th. This location, if you put the location of your church in there, it will be a clickable link on your video that they can go to Google Maps, and they can find how to get to you. Again, standard YouTube license, allow embedding. This is if you want to add your video to your website, if you want to embed it on there. It will also allow anybody else, like if I come to your website and I see that you got just this really awesome video, I can embed it on our website as well to help kind of help you out there a little bit. And again, the hold inappropriate comment, sort by the latest video that's put in there, and whether or not you want viewers to see how many likes and dislikes there were. And the next part is once it's processed, as you can see down here at the bottom, it's 0% processed right now. YouTube takes a long time when it starts getting this time of day. But you can add end screens, add cards, all of that kind of stuff. The end screens, you can add things like watch our last video that we put up. This video would be good based on the kind of things you like to watch, that sort of stuff. And then cards, there we go. Now I can go in and do it. See, like this right here. This is the one we use most of the time. They suggest a video for the best based on the viewer's interests. And then this one, you have to add a playlist to it, like our full service videos, and save. And it just, these pop up in the last 30 seconds of the video that folks can click on and be moved on to those videos so that they can watch those. The cards, you can come in and add a card anywhere along your timeline that you want. Like if the pastor is talking specifically about donating to your site or whatever, you can add a link, type that in. And it'll tell you whether it's an approved site or not, and you can apply it, and it adds this little info button up here at the top where when they click on it, it brings it out and tells you to go here. Oh, I didn't add an image to it. I suppose I better do that. And select it from a file. We'll do this one this time. And then the title for it, like visit our website. And I like for this one, I use the same thing for the call to action. And I think there's one more box down here. Yeah, and then the teaser text, same thing. And then when you click on this, that all comes up and they can click here and go directly to your website type of thing. You can add up to 4 cards per video. So you can add anything along there that you want based on whether it's a video, a playlist, a channel, or a link. And then once you're done with that, you can move on to the next section, which is whether you want it to be a private video, unlisted, public. And then when you publish it, this is where that whole Facebook thing came in that I talked about last week, where you can share it directly to Facebook as soon as you upload it. And it will give you, there we go. You can say something about it for your Facebook post, creates the link directly to it, and then post to Facebook. I won't do that for this one just because, but that's uploading a video. To do a video stream live or to schedule one, you come into this area. This is fairly new, the way they're doing things here. We have a memorial coming up on Saturday. That's why we have a link in here already. You can stream live right away. You can set up your webcam, or you can schedule a stream for later. Like you can use the same settings as the last time, or you can create a new one. Like coming up Friday, this coming Friday, like our daily prayer, public, say something about the video in here that will attract viewers to watch and are in line with your keywords as well. And the date, like I said, that'd be for this Friday, a time. And you can upload a custom thumbnail. We'll use the bus this time just for because. And no, it's not made for kids. Again, create your stream and it'll just take a second and it'll show up. You notice that the bus didn't show up here. That's just a bug that YouTube has. It doesn't show up right away like that. But if you come back over to the studio, which is that dashboard, and you look at your live videos, it will show up here. I'm not sure why I'm back there so far. Maybe because I was getting a video for later reference. There we go. Okay, now you can see that the bus is there for this video. Here, you can edit the details. You can go in and edit all of this stuff that you just put in there. Add all of your tags that you want to it. Select a playlist. And you can't do end screens or cards until after it has processed, excuse me, after you've ended your live broadcast. And then your more options, again, your record date, when you recorded it, all of that. Be sure, like I said, fill all of these in. It's very important for that SEO to get it out there in front of people. And then you can save it, go back to the channel videos. Here you can see the analytics for that one video, how it done overall. And the live control room takes you back to that area where you can start it immediately. And then the 3 little buttons here where you can do other things, edit the description, get the shareable link, and delete that forever. And just like that, and now that one's gone away. The upload that we done, let's come back here because there's a few more things. Here you can see the comments. This is the one that we just uploaded. Here you can see the comments, and in here you can promote it. Like I said, Google AdWords, They're a little more expensive to promote your videos, but you do get a lot better leads out of them if that's something you want to do. And you can do it on a relatively inexpensive budget to help attract new people to your congregation. You can download the video, or again, you can delete it forever. And that is the basics of the back end of YouTube and the various things that you can do back here and get out there in front of people. With that, Christina, I'll go ahead and give it back to you for the Q&A part.
What do you do, Glade, for Lakeview UMC to inform your congregation about the upcoming worship video? Do you link to the channel? Do you link to a specific video? What do you guys do?
This is what we do on our website. We've got watch us live on YouTube, which will take them directly to our YouTube channel. That'll take them directly to our YouTube channel. And right here in this area, when we are live, that video shows up right here. All they have to do is click that button and they're here. They can make it go full screen to see the video and watch it. Let me go back here. There we go. We also have watch up here in the top where they can click there. And this is all of the recent Just Message, not the full service video. Here again, click to take them directly to our channel. And it also comes out that way in our weekly e-newsletter that we send out to everybody. There's 3 or 4 links in there so that they know how to get directly to the video each week.
So basically you're linking to the channel, but you also have set up a page on your website where they can go directly to just the message if they want to.
Correct.
Is there any value? You showed how to add a thumbnail. I mean, do you think that it's important to use the same image for each worship service, or is it okay to use something different?
Actually, something different is what you need to do each time. Okay, as you can see, let me get to our videos. Okay, each one of them has a different, so that they can tell the difference in the videos. Kind of like Hollywood, each movie has its own poster. This is your movie poster, and people really like seeing who they're going to be hearing when they watch it. Like Pastor John here, Pastor Linda here, Pastor Valerie, Pastor Ross. When we started adding the people in there, our numbers jumped up quite a bit. So you'd really need to add a different one for each service. Kind of something related to the service is what we try to do, and be sure and put an image of who's going to be speaking, because that really helps when it comes to folks wanting to watch.
After your live videos have ended, well, when we're on YouTube Live currently, and we sometimes have a little bit of chit chat because we have a gathering time before we really start the service. And so I typically go in and trim that off using the edit tool in the studio in YouTube. But when I do that, it doesn't actually save it to that video. It wants to save it as a new upload, typically. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or if that's just the way it usually works.
Let me get a video up here. One thing I have found, like we start 5 minutes before each service and we have this little countdown timer running through there. And if I want to edit that out, you have to click trim, and then down here on the bottom, hopefully you guys can see that, the split. And once you do that, there's something else I got to do.
If you preview it first, then I think.
Oh, that's right. And you're right. And then the split and save, it should save it directly to that video as opposed to making a new one. but it does have to process this video, and it takes forever. It'll take them, I've had them take up to 48 hours when I process a video that way.
The countdown, does that come from a specialized program, or do you get that off the dashboard in the studio? Thank you.
Actually, that comes from a different program. That comes from ProPresenter.
Glade, for each video itself, do you make sure that the description, is it the same each time, or does the description say like sermon topic, or what do you do there?
Yes, to both accounts. Let me bring one up and I'll show you our description. Okay, on this one, our basic starts out, and this is again so that we can qualify for these keywords, like starts out with join Pastor John, Pastor Ross, Pastor Linda for today's online church service, and then the title of the service, and what scripture, a short paragraph that the pastor puts together to kind of entice people, to let them know that what they're about to see. And then this bottom part down here, let me see if I can highlight it. There we go. This is all stuff that goes in each week. We have a direct link to our giving page if anybody wants to donate, asking them to please share these videos with their friends so that we can pass the word around and all of that, which has really helped as well. We get one member that shares it with 2 or 3 people, and then they share it, and it just kind of blossoms from there. And then links to our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and a link to our feedback from our website, our feedback forum, in case they have any questions or anything like that, and a direct link to our church news, which is basically our blog page. And that's all that the description is. And when you see that, let me get that same one up in YouTube. Okay, and then when they're watching it in YouTube, that all shows up here, and you can see the links to take them to the different places, a short description. You want to get your keywords out of here as well. And it really helps drive people to your site.
For those churches that are starting a channel, or you want to try to boost, maybe you have never done this before, why not just ask your members as you share your channel information or Sunday information, ask them to be sure to subscribe and share this link with your family, your friends, whoever else that may be interested in receiving the message, because it's only going to help.
One issue we had in getting folks to subscribe, again, retired folks, the word subscribe. What am I subscribing to? What's it going to cost me? And then that's just YouTube's way of the same thing as the Facebook to be friends. So be sure and convey to everybody, it costs nothing to subscribe. And the more subscribers you get, the more stuff you can do with YouTube. That first 100 seems like it takes forever. And then after that, a lot of things start opening up that you can do on YouTube that you can't when you first start out. You'll notice there are some things that in looking at our back end that you could see that you won't be able to see yet, just because of the number of our subscribers. So absolutely include your channel, and we'll be more than happy to subscribe to it.
What if, let's say we got everybody to subscribe, everybody's sharing, suddenly all of our YouTube channels are super popular and everybody's commenting. Number one, does it matter? What difference does it make if you don't allow comments? And I guess that I'm asking that question because my real question is, what if, because you're starting out and maybe you're a one-man show, you don't have a team of people that are volunteering to check to make sure that comments are okay and all that. So is it okay to just not have comments on in the beginning?
And that is totally up to you guys. And yes, I understand that. One person only, that's the way ours started out, and we had to add the others. that one person being me. But one thing that we have found with YouTube, the more interaction you have with those comments, the more they will suggest your videos. You'll notice when you're live, if you click on the analytics, it will show you what's called a chat rate. The higher the chat rate goes, the more they start recommending your videos, because they think, oh, they're interacting with everybody, and this is an interactive video. We can get that out there in front of people. People like that. So with that said, it's good to have the chat and good to have a high chat rate. But then again, you've got that downside where you're the only person trying to play whack-a-mole with all of the bad people that come in. And that can be very challenging. It really can.
What I've done in the past, my church is mostly using Facebook Live, and that's difficult for me. So I've opted to simply record it on film. I'm using Apple products, so I have a Mac Lite and Apple iPad and an Apple phone. And I have been stymied a little bit by the confusion between whether or not you can edit these different Apple machines together as an A roll, B roll kind of thing. Is it easier to do it on YouTube, or are you aware of the ability or capacity of the Apple products to do that kind of editing?
Okay, that's a long answer for that.
Okay.
Doing the actual editing afterwards, they come standard with a video editing software.
Yeah.
To actually link the three things together, you can do that, but you need a special, what they call switching software. You can get one that is free. It's not overly user friendly to use, called OSB. And it will allow you to have the three different setups for three different cameras, maybe one for graphics, text, that kind of stuff, two cameras. And in OSB, you can switch between each input source. YouTube and Facebook, either one, only allow for one camera if you don't have that kind of software.
How about editing? How about editing afterward? If you have a couple of sources, you're still limited to just the one source?
No, I think it might be iMovie.
Yeah.
You can edit them in there, and you can add more sources in there in what's called post-production.
Okay, post-production, that's a good word.
Yeah, that's when you go and edit everything together at the end.
We're doing live Facebook, and we have two people. The one person who's doing the camera, the one person that's on camera, and then we have another person who is assisting by writing down the prayer requests. There's a prayer request time that's very, very robust.
Sure.
And so that person then presents, I guess, plaque cards. I've never seen it done in person, but I just watch it. It looks like they use plaque cards to hold it up and put the names on for prayer and that sort of thing that the guy recognizes as we're carrying on the prayer time. Is there a better way to do that, or can you put it up on a screen behind you so people can write in their prayer requests? Of course, if you do that, then you don't have any editorial control. So that might be a downside. Okay, I'm going to go on mute and just let you answer all that, okay?
It again, a complicated answer to that. The placards, like you were talking, cue cards, is a very easy way to do that, and then you can edit them, I guess, as far as what you're letting the person saying the prayer know. What we do, again, this is through ProPresenter. We have a large screen TV that is just for the pastors. Any notes that might come up during the service that we want to convey to the pastor, that sort of thing. That's what we use. And in essence, that's exactly what it is. It's just a large cue card that we type the message into. Like we get asked questions by our viewers in the chat. We'll put that in there and let the pastor know that, hey, somebody had a question, take a look at this, and he'll read it real quick and answer their question for them. But yeah, in essence, that's the best way to do it, is that whole cue card thing. Be it a TV that only the pastor can see, or handwriting it on a big card or whiteboard, whatever you would want to use there.
Are you able to schedule a live broadcast in YouTube, and then for those churches that are using Zoom for their simulcast, would they be able to broadcast from Zoom to YouTube and connect it to that live broadcast? And if you don't use Zoom that way, what do you use to be able to do that?
That's a good question, for which I don't have a good answer, because I don't use Zoom that way. Usually what we do for all of our Zoom meetings is we record them, and then take the recording, edit it a little bit, and then post it from there. I know I've seen the settings for that, and I don't remember what they are. If there is what they call an RTMP, Ralph Tango Mike Papa setting in there, you can get that from your YouTube thing. Let me switch screens again here so I can show you what I'm talking about. This is where it gets real complicated as well. Let me go back here and get over to the live side. Okay, and I'll just click this one that we've got coming up. Okay, in here, you've got what's called a stream URL, which you'll need to put that in the settings along with this streaming key. That's just a big password, so nobody else can get in and stream on it. And these are the two things that you'll need for your RTMP settings. And I'm not sure that Zoom lets you do that. We haven't tried that, or we haven't gone in to actually look at that. Actually, while I'm here, like I said, if you go to the analytics, you'll see here, concurrent viewers, that's how many people are actually watching live. If they pause it to use the restroom, they move over here to playbacks. And then here's that chat rate right here that I was talking about. And the higher the chat rate is, the better. Next week, we'll go into all of the analytics and how to tell what your videos are actually doing, how they're performing compared to last week's, last month's, a year ago, that kind of stuff. It is a huge wealth of information that's kind of overwhelming when you first look at it. But once you understand how they do everything and how they actually, their algorithm in calculating all of it, it's actually pretty simple. And it makes a lot of sense. You can look at it and say, oh, that message didn't go over real well with a lot of people. They only watched it for just a couple of minutes, and we didn't have that many people, so maybe we'll try this subject. And you'll wind up with 1,000 viewers, and they stayed on and watched a whole 45 minutes of your video, that sort of thing. And how to see that in the analytics and understand what they're trying to tell you about your videos.
Cliff is asking, will Glade be dealing with copyright issues and the manner in which YouTube handles it?
YouTube, if it sounds anything like what somebody says they have copyrighted, they will give you a copyright notice. It doesn't necessarily apply as a strike. but like most of our hymns, actually, somebody somewhere in the world has recorded it and put a copyright on it. And because of that, YouTube will say, hey, you can't monetize your video because these people will get paid. If you do, they'll get paid everything that you bring in because they have it copyrighted. And YouTube is very strict with that kind of stuff. 3 strikes and you're out. So be very careful when it does come to using copyrighted stuff. Don't use any of the popular stuff that you hear on the radio, that kind of thing, because that'll get you a strike right away. Most of our hymns and our hymnal have been copyrighted in other countries. So, and YouTube will tell you that in the back end, whether it's a strike or it just means that it's monetized, you can't monetize, or these people get all the money. When in doubt on a copyright, it's best don't use it. And even if you do have the, what is it, the copyright license service that everybody has, I can't remember the name of it.
CCLI.
Yes, even if you do have that, you're not immune from any copyright issues. If somebody has a copyright on something or claims that it belongs to them and they think that there's money involved, they'll go after you no matter what. It's copyright is such a vague thing, but like I said, the best way is if whenever you're in doubt, don't use it.
We do have some details about copyright. If you have specific questions that you don't see in the FAQ on that page that I've linked in the chat, which is dscumc.org/worship-online/copyright. Please email that question to communications@dscumc.org. I'll research the answer and I'll add that to the FAQ on this page, in addition to responding to your email with the instructions for your specific copyright question. Even when you send an email, that original message that you sent out, technically you have copyrights on that message, and the recipient does not have the right to publish that information from you without your written permission. And that's one of the big things that YouTube says is you need to have written permission from the copyright owner in cases where there is a copyright license for that content. And that could be for the song, it could be for the performance, it could be for the images used in the video. Any of those, there's a copyright that is already in place. So you have to make sure that either you're using public domain stuff, or you have written permission, or you have purchased the license to be able to stream it, which is different than just copyright. Copyright technically is not about streaming. So, I mean, as far as licenses go, the CCLI copyright license does not cover any streaming whatsoever. And the CCLI streaming license doesn't necessarily give permission to use every song in the world. And as Glade mentioned, there's a lot of songs in the hymnal that are not even covered in the CCLI streaming license, but you can find out by doing a search, going to ccli.com, and in there's a search box right in the homepage that's called Song Select. You can search for the song that you're looking for. If it's listed, it's covered in your streaming license if you purchased a streaming license. If it's not listed there, then you may have to go to other licensing companies like Christian Copyright Solutions or One License. There's several others, or just choose another song. Like Glade said, that's the easiest thing, is just choose another song and it'll save your church a bunch of money. All right, Peter has one more question, and that might be all we have time for as soon as we're done. But if you guys have another question, you want something addressed in next week's training, be sure to email your question to communications@dscumc.org. Peter, go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, I'm just going to pose the question and then I'll get off the mic and let you maybe answer it next week or just answer it in email if you want. I'm also interested in copyright in terms of general things that I might write. The way I've done it before was to send myself a letter through the mail, signature required, and indicating what I wanted to do and how I was dealing with this particular subject. And I've used that as my real cheap copyright system. But is there a Google site I can go to look at, or is there a copyright system that you know of that you trust? And then the second question is, in public domain images, for example, are the pictures in Google public domain? And you know, and how can you determine which is public domain and which is not? And is everything in Google's domain? So I'm done, and you can answer that next time, or you can just write me a little note with some information if you want.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, that was a lot. And I'd say the short answer is Google it. No, I'm going to Google it to see what I can find for you for copyright. It's really not about this YouTube. I think you're looking for something in addition to just your church worship videos. And the images on Google are not all necessarily public domain. There is a search feature where you just have to look at the settings in your Google search to limit images. You could do the search on images and then change it to showing images that are maybe for public use or that can be reproduced or things like that. Thank you, David. He says limit to Creative Commons. Yeah, so there's some specifics that you can set in your search to look for images that are safe for you to use. But even then, the things that you find out, make sure that you follow through. Don't just download that image, follow through, visit that page. It's likely going to take you to a Creative Commons or Wikimedia and see what it says for the license. I have found instances where it is public domain, but there are requirements. Maybe it's public domain with attribution. So that would mean that you have to include the content creators' information in there. So follow through, do your due diligence. There's some steps involved, right? But you're saving a lot of money. And those steps really don't take a whole lot of time. Okay, thank you, Glade. It's been an amazing session. Appreciate everything that you've shared and the time that you put into this.
And if anybody needs any help, please feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to do that.
Yes, thank you, Glade. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.